starting with our shoulder mobility, taking your roll-up. We're going to start about mid-back, or where your bra line is, ladies. Your spine is going to be in the center of the roll-up. Supporting your head, rolling back. Remembering to breathe as you go through this process, all the way up to your neck. You can even rest your head at the top, allowing your head to relax on the roga for a second before you roll it back. If you have a ponytail or a hoodie on, make sure you hold your ponytail so you don't pull your hair or choke yourself. I've done that before with a hoodie. Right. So 3 to 5 passes as a rule of thumb is all you need. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. So you can actually over foam roll just like anything else. You don't want to be working on the same area for like 30 minutes. Now if you felt any areas that were particularly sensitive, we're going to use our activator now. You're going to roll to one side, place the activator down, and roll over it. Breathing through that stretch. If you feel like you missed the spot, just come off of the Rolga activator and adjust it. Couple deep breaths. We're going to do 2 releases on each side of your spine. Everyone could have it in a different spot because you have different tender areas. Let's adjust it to another spot. Place it. I'm going to move mine up to my meaty part of my shoulder. Keep breathing into that activator. Now you should feel that trigger point as you breathe kind of melt away. That's the fascia tissue becoming unstuck.
How long are you supposed to hold it, or do you just hold it until you feel?
Usually like 30 seconds. Yeah. Okay, let's switch to the other side. And shoulders are an area that most people have a lot of tension. You hold stress in your shoulders. So we're only doing a little bit of self-myofascial release in this area today. If you need more, you could always come back to it after class. Keep breathing into that spot. Nice deep breaths all the way down to your pelvic floor below your belly button. All right, let's adjust it to another location. Again, nice deep breaths. We want to feel our rib cage expand as we breathe. And return to normal as we exhale fully. All right, roll it on up. Our next exercise, so stretch, mobility, and recovery is a combination of the self-myofascial release, yoga, mobility, and recovery exercises. So we kind of float between those. Some of these exercises you might recognize as like rehab exercises. Some of the exercises are more like yoga stretches. It's a combination because it's hitting all of the important parts. We're going to come to a standing position. You're going to grab your band, put your handles in, and we're going to do a Y stretch and then a T stretch. Let's start with a Y. So you're going to want to choke it up a little bit because you want it to be tight enough. You don't want to have to kill it, right? Because this is a recovery. This isn't like a workout. We're not trying to crush the band, bringing it up. Pulling it apart slightly and bringing it down. Those of you that have a thicker band, you probably want to give it a little bit more space. I see some of you adjusted. And let's do the T now, out to the side, so you make it a little bit looser, so you can pull it open. And down. Opening the chest, feeling that good stretch. Let's do one more. Don't forget those deep breaths. And relax. Setting that out of the way. Moving into our sun salutation. For anyone who is not getting down on the floor, when we go into the sun salutation and we go into plank, you would be in a chair posture here. Using the chair, and then we're going to go into, we're using cactus arms today. Okay. Big inhale up. Exhale, bring those arms out wide into a cactus. Stretching your chest. Bring it back up. Exhale, bring it down to your heart. Swan dive down. All the way down to the mat. Allow your head to drop. Half lift, shoulders back. Should look like a 7 now. Exhale, step it out to plank, away from a chair, on your knees or your toes. Bring it down to the floor slowly in that tricep push-up or chaturanga. And scoop it up, pushing your shoulders away from your ears. Getting that gentle stretch in your spine. Toes under, push back into your down dog. Pressing into your heels. Feel that good stretch. Stepping it in and rolling it, big shoulder roll. Rotator cuff hinge. Arms are out wide in that cactus that we just used, dropping it down. This is a very gentle movement. We're not adding any pressure. Getting some synovial fluid into our shoulder joint. Now from here, we're going to drop it down and up. If you have a shoulder impingement and this doesn't feel good, you can stop and not do it. One more. Our next sun salutation. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands on your thighs. Nice flat back here. Feel that good stretch up your hamstring, yes? Exhale, step it out into plank on your chair, on your knees or on your toes. Shoulders away from your ears, sacking those hands under the shoulders. Pushing back into child's pose. Curling those toes under, reaching the hands forward on the mat. So I really want you to focus on that stretch. So you're pushing opposable forces of your butt on your heels and those arms pulling towards the edge of the mat. Coming up slightly, we're going to thread that shoulder. Bring it across your thigh and reach forward. Chair option. Sitting forward, reaching towards your toes. Hands on your thigh. Let's do that on the other side. Arm across the thigh, shoulder away from the ear. Reach the other arm forward for that good stretch. From your pinky all the way down your hip bone. And come on up. Our last shoulder exercise, windmill arms. So we're grounding our feet, finding balance in our heels, the balls of our feet and our toes, windmilling those arms, like you're doing the backstroke. Again, we're not like trying to push. Depending on someone's mobility, their arms might be out way further than mine. It's a nice, relaxing shoulder mobility stretch. Let's reverse, other direction. your shoulders feel. So that's a sample, a snippet of what we might do in a shoulder mobility focus. The next area that we're going to demo is the hip opening and the psoas. So as you know, the psoas is like deep down in your groin area here, about 2 inches over from your hip bone. And we're gonna try to do some release. What?
I said, good, I need that.
Yeah. A lot of people are tight there because it's so deep and it's hard to stretch, and it impacts, if people complain about hip pain, a lot of times it's the psoas. And once you get that release, the hip pain goes away. So we're going to get back down on the floor with our roll down and work on our piriformis adductor and psoas. So for the piriformis on the outside leg, we're going to be in, I like to call it the beach pose. Most of the roll is going to be behind you. You're going to use this front valley. Your leg is straight. You can do this on the wall if you had a client who could not get down on the floor. This top leg is your pushing leg. You're supporting your shoulder with your hand directly below, and we're going to push down to above the kneecap, all the way up to the hip. You can be flat, parallel. You can lean forward slightly and hit a different part of the muscle. Ooh, I feel that a lot more. Or you can lean back slightly and see if it's more towards the back part of the muscle.
You're going to top line to the hip bone, or all the way up?
Like to the right below your hip bone.
Below the bone.
Yeah. Probably for you about where your shorts are.
Very,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't hold your breath, because this is an area that is hard to stretch. This one, if you don't do this stretch often, isn't gonna feel that good, but from here on out, if you do it regularly, it is a great stretch. Let's do the other side. It's gonna do wonders for your hip too. Again, this top foot is like your pushing foot, your leverage foot, and you're rolling back. Don't forget to breathe. All right, we're going to get really personal with our roll now. All right, so we're going to be in a supine position. Again, you're going to use that front valley, placing the knee on the front. We're going to roll it all the way to the inside of our groin for the adductor. And we want to do that on the other side as well. Again, putting your leg in the valley, rolling towards the roga, bringing it closer to your midline. Keep breathing.
Oh.
And now we're going to target the psoas. So sometimes I have clients if this is too much that I have them use the softer ball. If you haven't gone to the bathroom in a while, it may push a little bit on your bladder. So you're going to get, you might want to use the restroom, or you're going to practice using your Kegel exercises as we do this. So you're gonna place the ball. I like the textured side, but either side is fine. It's gonna be about 2 inches in from your hip bone. You're gonna roll over, and you're just gonna put your hands on your mat in front of you and place your forehead on there and just breathe nice and deep into that activator.
Yeah, because it.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Alright, let's switch it to the other side. Same thing, 2 inches in from that hip bone is a good rule of thumb. Place the ball and roll over on it. Forehead on your arms.
Everything on this side is
And this is one that doesn't feel like amazing. Sometimes when you do foam rolling, it feels like relief. It doesn't feel that good when you do it, but you have to get in there deep to get that psoas to release. I had some trouble about 2 years ago with my psoas that I was having pain when I would sleep. I would wake up and my hip was hurting. And I do all the recovery stuff and I can't figure out what's going on with my psoas. Well, I didn't know it was my psoas. With my hip, my grandmother had hip problems, so I thought, oh gosh, I hope I'm not getting some sort of dysfunction. I went to the doctor and she checked my flexibility and she said, you're really flexible. I'm like, yeah, I do yoga. Went to PT, they couldn't figure out, had an MRI, no relief. Finally, I did some more psoas work and did some releases like this, and the pain went away. I could have saved myself the MRI, 3 visits to the PT, a visit to my doctor, and no one could tell me what was wrong with me. But the hip pain went away, and I really did think it was like my hip, but it was the psoas was so tight on the connection that it was pulling everything. Alright, so now that we've done that release, we're going to do some exercises to work on the range of motion. Starting in a bridge, so feet are parallel, about shoulder width apart. We're going to lay down on the mat, ground those feet into the floor. You're not like pressing hard, but you're feeling your heels and your balls of your feet and each one of your toes in the mat, pressing those hips up, creating that nice long spine from your tailbone all the way up to your neck and down, up and down, squeezing those butt cheeks at the top. Nice deep breaths. This time at the top, we're gonna press our knees to the outside, press them open, squeeze them closed like we have imaginary resistance, and down, up, out, in, and down. Still creating that nice long line through the spine. Don't let your butt drop when you push your knees to the outside. Squeezing it in like you have a ball between your legs, a little bender ball or a yoga ball. Sometimes I do this exercise with the ball, not today. One more. And down. You can bring your knees to your chest if you'd like. Rock it back and forth and then roll it up. Our next movement is a sun salutation. For those of you who aren't getting down on the floor, runner's lunge. We're going to be here, rotate and reach. Everyone join me at the front of your mat. Be careful if you're using this mat. These mats are slippery. I don't really like that mat. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders back. Exhale, step it out to plank on your chair, on your knees, or on your toes. Stepping to the outside of your hands, doesn't matter which side you start with. Sinking into that runner's lunge. We can be on our knee here or on your toes, but I really want you to sink Sink into it so you feel the stretch on the underside of your leg. Yes?
Yeah.
Rotate and reach. Hands to the sky. You're looking up. Nice gentle spine twist. Bring it back down. Stepping back to plank. We're switching sides. Big step on the outside of your chair or your hands. Knee down or knee up. Your choice. Sink into that stretch. Feel down the underside of the leg. Now let's rotate and reach. Nice twist. Come back down. Step it out to plank. And step it in. Roll it up. Our next move is a sumo squat moving into a goddess pose. So sometimes I have people do this behind the chair for support as we do this. We want to try to open our hips because we did all that release. Our feet out are nice and wide here. Our chest is nice and tall. So some of you, this might be enough. You want to try to sink down into it. Open up your chest. And back together. Come on up, we're gonna rest for a second. We're gonna do it again. I'm trying to go down a little bit deeper into that posture. Sinking down through the tailbone, you have that string coming up from your head, like your spine is all stacked, one vertebrae on top of each other. Opening. And come on up. Shake it out. Sun salutation. Okay, so big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it out to plank, away from your chair or on your knees or toes. Nice long line through the spine. Coming up back into your plank. Stepping forward into a lunge. Driving forward into a knee. Balance. Back to lunge. Your option for someone using a chair, high lunge, you can tap or follow through on the knee. Stepping back in your plank, we're going to switch sides. Runner's lunge. Come on up, driving that knee forward. And back. Option to tap the ground or high lunge. Option to tap the foot or float the leg. Your choice. I see no one's using the board for this. So you could totally use your board right in these movements. Why did you stop? One more. All right, wide straddle. On the outside of your mat. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Reaching down towards the floor. Allow your head to drop. You can also cross your arms here. Walking your hands or moving your arms to the left and the right. Feel that good stretch from your pinky all the way up your arm and down to your hip, but also in the back of the legs and your back. And roll it up. Good shoulder roll. Next move is pigeon. If you're not getting down on the floor, after you do the plank to down dog, and we're going to do single leg dog, you would come around to the front of your chair and do your fold over here at the ankle or over the thigh. Everybody ready? Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders back. Exhale, step it out to plank. On your knees, on your toes, or on the chair. Push back into your down dog. Hips are square to the front of your mat. Let's extend one leg in single leg dog. Point that toe. We're gonna pull that leg all the way through into pigeon. Option. Dropping down to one side if your hips are tight. Otherwise, thread that leg all the way through. So you're on your side like this, and you're gonna fold over your pigeon to the front. Or feed that leg all the way through. The more perpendicular this front leg is, and flex the foot, the more the stretch is gonna be in the outside of the leg. Bring your arms down. Allow your head to drop if you'd like. Some of you might be good right here on your forearms, that's okay too. Okay, bring it back up. Coming back into plank, or down dog. We're gonna switch sides. Single leg dog on the other leg, pulling it all the way through. Again, if you're in the chair, you're switching to the ankle on the other side. On the side of your bottom, or feed the leg all the way through straight, like a T. You might find a difference in your flexibility on one side than the other. I have a knee injury on this side, and the scar tissue prohibits some of my range of motion. You want a little bit more, big inhale and exhale those arms forward.
Is it an ACL?
Unseal. Walk it back. Pushing back into down dog and stepping it in. How are we on time?
She says that you could run over, but it is 4:35. 1 minute?
4:35, so we have 10 minutes left. Oh, yes.
1 minute.
All right. So we don't have time for the leg recovery piece. Sorry, I thought I had it until 4:45. So at this point, I thank you for joining me. If you have any questions about anything that we experienced today,
That's great. Good.
I encourage you to think about how you're going to apply this in your own practice with your clients or in your group fitness setting. If you have goals that you want to set, you feel free to send those to me and I can help support you in those. Don't forget the contest. Can you guys just wait just 1 second so I can close out on all the movement? Don't forget to check in on Facebook. Tag me in your pictures and videos. I did take a few pictures during today's session, so feel free to tag yourself in those if you want. Don't forget to enter to win that. Each one of these is one of those entries, and I'll be doing those tomorrow morning, so you have a little bit of time to enter. If you want any of the equipment, the strong boards are $240 out the door. We save $75. Please don't make me take them home because they'll fill up my entire car. I know you enjoy using them and they're a great tool to have. The roll guys are for the set is $35. I do Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I have the Square store, so I can get credit cards for any of the equipment, and then you can just take it home with you.
How much?
$240.
Okay. What was $35 up there?
It's $75.
Oh, I got it.